The drama surrounding Gervonta Tank Davis has taken a wild turn that no one saw coming. What was supposed to be one of the most talked-about crossover fights of the year, a collision between pure boxing greatness and internet stardom, now hangs in uncertainty. Tank's upcoming showdown with Jake Paul was meant to be the perfect storm. The speed, power, and discipline of a world champion against the size, swagger, and audacity of a YouTube-born prizefighter. But instead of pre-fight hype dominating the headlines, it's the chaos outside the ring that's stealing the spotlight. Reports of Davis's arrest, followed by a new civil lawsuit accusing him of serious domestic violence, have sent shockwaves through both the boxing world and entertainment media. What was meant to be a spectacle of skill has turned into a spectacle of scandal. Tank Davis has always carried himself as a fighter molded by hardship, a man whose fists told the story of his survival. But now those same hands are under legal scrutiny. The allegations are explosive: battery, false imprisonment, and emotional distress, all stemming from a civil filing in Miami-Dade County. No criminal charges have been added yet, but the timing couldn't be worse. Just as Tank was preparing for what could have been one of the most lucrative bouts of his career, he's found himself fighting a battle outside the ring that could permanently damage his reputation. If that's true, then this is a devastating blow to one of the most intriguing matchups boxing has ever seen. 4 years ago, when Jake Paul first listed Gervonta Davis among his dream opponents, few took it seriously. Tank was a decorated champion, a pound-for-pound knockout artist in his prime. Jake was still learning how to throw a proper jab. But the years since have changed everything. Jake's rise from internet provocateur to credible contender has made him impossible to ignore, and Tank, like it or not, has become a figure whose fights command the world's attention. Their collision wasn't just a fight, it was the merging of two eras, old-school boxing integrity versus new-age media power. Yet not everyone saw this as a dream match. Many purists felt betrayed that Tank, still in his prime, would entertain what they considered a circus act. Critics argued that he was wasting his best years chasing celebrity fights instead of legacy bouts. They wanted to see him face Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, or Devin Haney, fighters who could cement his place in boxing history. Instead, Tank seemed drawn to the spectacle, lured by a payday reportedly north of $50 million. Some understood it. Others called it selling out. As one veteran analyst put it, boxing today is about business first, pride second. Legacy fights are no longer what keeps the lights on. Viral fights are. The numbers didn't lie. The event was set for Miami, with Netflix broadcasting globally. A lightweight champion weighing around 135 pounds, stepping into a ring against a man who fights near 200. If nothing else, it was going to be a visual spectacle. The agreed weight limit of 195 pounds paired with 12-ounce gloves made this more than just a mismatch. It made it an experiment. Could a smaller, faster, more technical fighter outthink and outmaneuver a younger, larger brawler? The promotion thrived on that very question. Fans couldn't look away. Even those who hated the idea admitted they would tune in just to see what happened. But now, with Davis facing serious allegations and the fight hanging by a thread, the question isn't about size or skill anymore, it's about whether this fight should even happen at all. Veteran fighters like Carl Froch and Johnny Nelson have called the entire thing a joke. Froch, in particular, pointed out that Jake Paul had nearly finalized a deal to fight Anthony Joshua, a legitimate heavyweight, and instead pivoted to a man half his size. To him, that move reeked of spectacle over sport. He accused Jake of chasing viral fame while avoiding real danger. And yet Jake's supporters argue that the fight with Davis wasn't just a stunt, it was a story years in the making. Nakisa Bidarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, insists that Tank has been calling out Jake for years, long before this became official. He paints it as destiny, a fight born out of persistence, not publicity. Bidarian also brushed off the size concerns, claiming that Jake needed the heavier catchweight not to gain advantage, but to survive against a fighter as skilled as Davis. According to him, Jake's inexperience is what justifies the weight difference. But even he admits that Tank's skill level is on another planet. One man has been fighting since childhood, the other for less than 5 years. It's experience versus evolution. Bidarian even went as far as to call Tank the lion in this fight, facing the young elephant that is Jake Paul, one fast, fierce, and cunning. The other strong, powerful, and still learning the rhythm of the jungle. But with lawsuits looming and investigations pending, the jungle might never open its gates. As of now, the November 14th event is rumored to be postponed indefinitely. If it doesn't happen, it will join the long list of high-profile fights that collapsed under the weight of drama. For Tank Davis, the consequences could be far more personal. His legacy, once tied to his lightning speed and ruthless knockouts, now risks being overshadowed by court filings and controversy. And for Jake Paul, the loss of this fight would mean losing the biggest test and payday of his boxing career. Still, not everyone is willing to count the matchup out just yet. Figures like Daniel Cormier see Jake Paul as more than just an influencer chasing headlines. Cormier praises his discipline, his full-time commitment to boxing, and his ability to pull younger audiences into a sport that's been starving for attention. He sees Jake not just as a fighter, but as a bridge, a necessary disruptor bringing boxing back to relevance in the digital age. And maybe, just maybe, that's why this fight mattered so much. Because it wasn't just about Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. It was about the future of boxing itself. Could old-school legitimacy and new-school media finally coexist? Could a world champion and a YouTuber share the same stage without it becoming a mockery? Those questions might remain unanswered, for now. Paulie Malignaggi, a respected voice in the sport, summed it up best when he said Davis had more to lose. Tank's the established champion, the proven talent. If Jake loses, he shrugs it off and still sells pay-per-views. But if Tank loses, even to a bigger man, the world will never let him forget it. One punch could redefine everything he's built. That's the danger of pride. That's the price of spectacle. And in boxing, perception is everything. As the investigation unfolds, fans are left wondering whether they'll ever get to see the fight that promised to unite two worlds. For now, Tank Davis remains silent, Jake Paul remains focused, and the sport holds its breath. Because no matter what happens next, this saga has already changed boxing. It's exposed its flaws, its hunger for money, its obsession with attention. And yet, it's also reminded everyone why we still watch. Because no matter how chaotic things get outside the ring, the moment those gloves touch, the truth always comes out. So what do you think? Has Gervonta Davis's career reached a breaking point? Or will he bounce back stronger than ever? Was the Jake Paul fight doomed from the start? Or is this all part of boxing's unpredictable theater? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you love deep dive storytelling into the drama behind the sport, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a breakdown of the fights that define an era.